professionally when I was 7.
7? Wow,
Yeah.
you got me beat. I was 10. 7 years old. And is it something you wanted to do even at a young age, or did you just fall into it?
No, I knew really young. I think I was really lucky to know when I was 6 years old definitively that was what I wanted to do.
Wow.
I got to, my mom worked at a summer camp, and I begged the kids that were putting on the drama program to let me be in their play, and they refused until I wore them down. And then the second I was on stage, I was like, oh, this is exactly what I do.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
You knew instantly.
I did.
So, with that said, man, what role do people come up to you and mention the most?
It just depends, actually. It depends on their age or where in the world I am. But the thing that I think people are most surprised about is Entourage, because I played myself on Entourage,
Right.
and I played a prototypical villain actor.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids who, if that was the first thing they saw me on, they were just convinced that I was an a-hole in real life.
But he's got to be a jerk.
You did a good job then.
Hey, thanks, man.
Exactly.
It's crazy to think about some of the roles that you've had. It's also crazy to think now that you're also directing, you're doing more and more behind the camera. You've got this new movie, Changeland. You've got your wife in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, when you set out to direct something, especially something low budget or independent like that, it's critical to stack the deck in your favor in any way possible. And so I got anyone I knew I could guarantee their performance. I knew I could guarantee their commitment.
Right.
I also, you know, I forewarned everyone, we're probably going to get 1 to 2 takes of every scene, so you got to be sharp. And to that end.
Whose idea was it for your wife to have a love interest that was not you in the movie? Because how do you do that?
Well, if I've learned anything from my wife and I appearing in public together, it's that nobody buys us as a couple. And so, organically, when you're casting people, you want the audience to be rooting for the relationship.
Oh, that's
and,
funny.
You know, knowing somebody like Breckenmeyer for as long as I have, and also he and Claire have such easy chemistry, I knew that both of them would work well together, and that I didn't have anything in real life to worry about.
Right.
It's not like either of them were going to catch different feelings from, you know, making out on camera.
So you hooked her up with your boy, with your buddy there. That's great.
They were far less comfortable with it than they were far less comfortable with it than I was.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But that's fun to play with, too.
Right.
It is. No, it is. It is. Yeah, it's a trip. Good on you. You're confident.
Thanks, man.
How was the dynamic? Because I work with my wife on the radio show, but it's only like, you know, here and there, and a couple times when she'll come. That's all she can take me, a couple times a week.
I understand that.
Did it work out for you? Because you're directing, too, so she's taking orders from you.
Well, before Claire and I were ever romantic, one of the things we bonded about was our shared love of performing, and especially our perspective on acting. And so we really worked well together. Honestly, I work with her whenever I can, just because I think she's awesome.
Oh, that's cool, man. And keep it in the family. Why not?
Yeah.
You've also got this hugely popular and successful show, Robot Chicken, now in its 10th season. Is that right?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
How did this? Tell me how you went in to pitch this idea in the first place. Because I'm always fascinated how the show gets picked up.
Well, it was almost accidental. We did the original show as webisodes, pre-broadband. So before anybody even understood that you could watch content on the internet, we were making this thing. And as a result, there were very little rules or restrictions to it. And then we took all that material and shopped it around to a bunch of different places. And in that interim, the Adult Swim, which is the late night broadcast of the Cartoon Network, that formed and started making original programming. And so they greenlit us. But I think it was just because there were so few rules, and they could kind of put anything on the air that they wanted.
I remember, because I was on the show, might have been like 8 years ago or something.
Yeah,
or 10 or
I want to say it was the 2nd or 3rd season that we did that Saved by the Bell Saw sketch.
Yeah, Saved by the Bell meets Saw. It was very funny. You got to check that out.
Wait. Saved by the Bell meets Saw?
Yeah, it was the cast of Saved by the Bell.
I'm looking that one up. I'm looking that one up. we were talking about your relationship also with your mom, and earlier kind of stories about childhood came up. And there's this hilarious story of you kind of, I don't know who that woman is, I don't know.
Well, we didn't have any money, and there was an incident where my mom had dropped me off for a field trip, so I'm already on the bus with a bunch of other kids that are going away for the weekend, and my mom's car catches fire in the parking lot. And so I'm watching my mom out the window frantically run around this burning car. And this girl I was trying to, like, impress, I was like, who's that crazy lady?
Dang.
She's having a rough day, huh?
You are a good actor. Having those back right there. All right, you better take care of Mom.
Thanks, man. Take care of your arm.
Thank you very much. No, we're all good. We're all good.
Just a couple of nanoparticles away from being a cyborg.
Exactly. I'm about there right now. We're going to have to work that in. Working on my robot. Meanwhile, be sure to check out Changeland. It's on video, on demand now, and season 10 of Robot Chicken, which we're excited
If you love that video, you're gonna love everything on the Access YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button. You can thank me later. Hit it. Now.